Is my audio not working? Okay, actually. Man, it's been so while. I need to figure this out. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. It's been a hot minute. Actually, make sure everything's fine correctly. Da-da-da-da-da. Put this. I think this should be it. Hold on. Let me switch out to. Alright, let me switch to the regular webcam and we can talk for a minute. But anyway, how you doing? It's been a minute. I'm just so it's been a weird week or so. I am in the stream there. It's kind of awkward because I know people are like, not exactly like the best day because everybody's doing stuff. I'm also kind of like considering like going back to Twitch for a bit, mostly because I have not streamed on Twitch in a while. Trying to find this specific comment here. So that's cool. I think. How bad? For this. Is this what I was looking for? I don't think I was looking for. Oh my. Alright, so there's a lot to kind of go over. Firstly, how y'all doing? I know it's been a minute. I'm just sure. Yeah, I don't know if it's anyway. But so, oh yeah, I need to find this. Yeah, this is it. All right. Okay. Excuse me. We back in it. So. what that is. Anyway, so here we are with today. Normally I would usually be doing a stream on Friday because that's usually what I like doing. I like having streams on Friday. It was there, people were there. However, I feel like this is kind of like a timely stream because I have a lot to kind of say. Thankfully, Magic gave me like a warm up into what we're gonna talk about, so I should probably kind of preface this by basically saying, so we've got really like 3 topics I kind of want to jump out in like the next 30 minutes to an hour. What the heck is that? Okay, so let's go to the reaction thing. So first off, I know I don't really talk about Magic Gathering on here a lot. That's mostly just because me and Magic ain't really been homies, but at all. Hold on, I probably should. Do I want to record this? I don't know if I want to record this. Part of it is kind of like I already have this on stream. I could probably chop everything, but I probably should start recording. Why not? Is it working? Yeah, it's working. Okay. So, we got a lot to kind of talk about. So first up, for Magic Gathering, which, me and Magic haven't really had a conversation in a hot minute, but they announced a restriction list for Magic, which, to be honest, I don't really care because the only real format I really play in Magic is Standard, mostly because I don't play any other format. Nothing here. I don't play Pioneer, I don't play Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Alchemy, Explorer, Historic, Timeless, Brawl, any of these. I don't play Magic Orion or Arena. That's just how it is. But there is something important in here that really kind of exemplifies my current feelings about Magic the Gathering. And that is that it really starts here with this card named Nadu Winged Wisdom. Effectively is a legendary creature, which is a converted cost of 3, which is converted means like its mana cost is this much. So it has one colorless, 1 green, 1 blue, and it's basically 3. So effectively on turn 3, if you're not mana screwed, you play this and it's active. It has flying, and creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it is a land card, put it onto the battlefield, otherwise put it into your hand. This really triggers only twice each turn. And I probably have the card up on screen, but basically the whole thing is a combo has been running Modern, in which you can go and play Nadu, then you play cards that effectively are costless, equips, and then you just constantly like loop until you get enough advantage and just overpower your opponent and just win. Right, that's kind of the gist of it. I don't really know myself. Again, I'm not really into Magic like that. But they banned that, and they banned Grief, which, I haven't heard a lot of people say anything about that. It's really just Nadu, which is a key thing. And from what I can tell, people aren't really happy with just Nadu because Grief feels like a kind of like side hit. I don't know. But what is interesting is they specifically, Nadu has quite literally been running rampant for months in Magic because it was released in Modern Horizons 3, a set specifically designed for Modern. Keep that in mind. But they released an article from the major designer of Modern Horizons 3 on why specifically Nadu got hit. And they were very upcoming. They told us what happened. And what they told us is effectively yeah, we'll get there. So the second line on this thing is Nadu Winged Wisdom was a design mistake. That's as blinding as it says. But you know, there's a whole bunch of rigmarole and everything they say about it, about why the deck happened, what its reasons were banned, and it says how do we get here, and it shows like the original version of Nadu, but they changed it, and they were like, this probably isn't good. But there is these past this one right here, this one paragraph right here is pretty much what everybody kind of looked at and went, wait, what? And they're basically just like, okay. Which is, in one of these meetings, there was a great deal of concern raised by Nadu's flash granting ability for commander play. After removing the ability, which they pretty much say, they removed the ability, they changed it. It wasn't clear that the card would have an audience or a home, something is important for every card we make. Ultimately, my intention was to create a build around aimed at commander play, which resulted in the final text. Again, the card was on screen, you had some time to read it. That card was meant for commander, but was released in a set for modern, an entirely different format. I missed the interaction with 0 mana abilities that are so problematic. The last round of folks who were shown the card in the building missed it too. We didn't play test with Nadu's final iteration as we were too far along the process and shipped as is. So they effectively went and admitted, yeah, we changed the card. The head designer said, I want it to be in Commander, because obviously in Commander this is pretty okay. But in Modern, they missed the interactions because they didn't play test with the card. They didn't sit down and look, because when they did change it, it was far too late in the process. It was like, we gotta ship this out in a week. Like, we don't have time to look through everything in Modern and put them in there. So we're gonna have to deal with it and deal with it later. Which I think that kind of also points to another fact is the fact that cards in an entirely different format are being designed with a whole different format in mind is really like if there's a poster child for, can I like push this up, for being a card that straight up shows the current state of Magic the Gathering, it's probably this one. A card that was created for a format, a card released for Commander, but is actually a Modern format card, is crazy. I kind of said this on Twitter, but it's equivalent the equivalent of having Zarzan, a card meant for premium, to be released in a V-era product. It's just kind of like, why was this here? Or not even like Zarzan, probably like the Stride, right? It's like you added a Stride to V that was never supposed to be there because it's meant for a whole different format. That's more the gist of it. And it's like, of course it's not going to be healthy if you built it for a whole format that's thing. Not to mention Commander is more so a casual format. And I think a lot of people have kind of like started to break on Commander. I think a lot of like Magic players are very much like upset that Commander has gotten so much referential treatment. It's kind of like, I think I look at Commander now as like that one like character in a show that's like, I guess you could say kind of like the Steve Urkel effect, where it's like this one character is funny, they're humorous, right? But they are not meant to be like the run of the show, right? They're very much like they're supposed to be here for like one gag and then dead every like 2 or 3 episodes. But it becomes so popular, they end up coming into the show and effectively becomes their show midway through everything. Right? I don't, it's not a Poochie effect, it's not a Mary Sue thing. It's really just like, you're a fun character, but you've taken over the rest of the show. All the plot lines basically now devolve into you when they shouldn't. Like, there shouldn't be a moment where Carl Winslow has to deal with Urkel, with an Urkel plot line, when he's supposed to be dealing with, police stuff. That's something you just don't have. So, that's basically it. This is effectively this is the Steve Urkel of Magic the Gathering right now. It's like, how did Commander's the Steve Urkel of Magic the Gathering? That's basically it. It's like, you're cool, you're supposed to be casual, but you've taken over Magic in terms of the eyes of Wizards and Hasbro, that they're basically warping formats just to give you something. They're fumbling other formats for you, and it's crazy. And that's why I don't really vibe with Magic all that much right now, because combined with the amount of Universes Beyond that's been dropping, combined with this right here, where they literally made a card that wasn't supposed to be in this format, and had to hit it, combined with the amount of products that just constantly drop, also related to the whole Magic the Gathering thing, Universe Beyond thing, but that's also a separate issue, ironically. It very much is like, the reason why I don't like Magic the Gathering right now is because either Wizards, because Hasbro is basically bleeding money. They don't have no money. Transformers is hit or miss right now. Any of the other, like, Barbie was probably, if Barbie was still, like, with Hasbro in some aspects, they would have some money. But, they're with Mattel. Mattel got a bag with the Barbie movie. They basically killed Power Rangers. There's, Beyblade X is really good, which I know. It's surprising how Beyblade X is good. Beyblade X feels like less of Hasbro doing anything, more like Takara Tomy, but like holding a gun to their head, like, you better not mess this up. You mess this up, we are going to ruin you. So Magic has to now pick up the slack. Only that they don't even make their toys no more. So Hasbro has to basically pick up the slack Wizards has to pick up the slack for a company that's not making money because they want to do something else when they're supposed to be one thing, but they want to do something else. So now they have to just dump all these cards. And now we know, because of this card right here on the screen, the one that's being shown, effectively now, even when you have a set dedicated to your format, right? If you're a modern only player, even when you have a set dedicated to your format, now you're understanding that your set and your formats are now compromised. Because now Commander is so much a money maker for a format that's casual, that people obviously buy things right there. This card is now effectively, this card basically ran rampant in your format because Commander exists. Like, that's not good. Like, that's why it's also like, I always look at, when I go to a Target or a Walmart and I see a starter product, or rather these constructed decks, and they're all Commander decks, and they're all for like sets that are supposed to be in Standard, and I'm just so confused, because not only am I looking at these sets themselves as, are these Commander, or are these Standard? Like, there's so much Commander on it, I'm confused on what is actually like Standard legal. Like, I don't know what is actually Standard legal anymore. Like, back when I was like 15, 16, and I go into a card shop, I see Magic things, I at least learn like, hey, this block has this storyline. This has this. This is specifically designed for this. There's going to be a loop and it's going to talk about this storyline. Like, I go into a store and it's like I can see that. I can't tell anymore because now the current state of Magic is like we're out here traveling to Jurassic Park 1 set. Now we're Scooby Dooing the next set. Now we're up in a Evergreen, and it's like what is happening in the world of Magic the Gathering from a consumer aspect that from an outside consumer aspect? I don't know. And that's really my biggest problem with Magic. And it's like, so to see this is like the most like, okay. Yeah, it's cooked for y'all. Like, I know they have a plan for like the upcoming like new like starter super set, but I don't know if that's gonna work or not because they've effectively let all the other like formats kind of like fluster to a point where it's like, is it really worth it to get the Magic the Gathering at all? Because I'm not really a fan of Commander. I gave it a try with the Doctor Who things. I got my deck somewhere around here, but it never really, it didn't grab me as much, probably because I haven't played as much. But it's just like the fact that they focus on something that's not really like a competitive like aspect. You know, there's a competitive like Commander, but it's not like you're not running a Pro Tour for Commander. You're running a Pro Tour for Modern, a Pro Tour for Standard. Focus on those formats. Focus on balancing your game. Focus on promoting your game. And, maybe you actually would have more money coming in that doesn't look like this disaster. I don't know. Maybe it's just me rambling, like it always is, but yeah. That's basically my whole nope, sorry. That's basically my discussion about the current state of Magic based on this ban list. Again, I'm from an outsider looking in. This just looks like a hot mess. Commander just feel. I've talked to friends like they love Commander, but there are other friends who are just like, bro, I'm tired of Commander. Like it's effectively kicked me out the game I loved, and that's sad to see. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and please like, comment, share, subscribe, do whatever you want. Have a nice day. Bye bye. I gotta actually, definitely. Now I'm looking at like I didn't get to shave or like cut like this segment of my my face. That looked weird. So yeah, that's the first aspect, which is Magic, right? And next will be I'm gonna say that for probably doing a video cut. So kind of want to set this up real quick. This special thing. Probably should go to. Let me get the log. Oh wow, okay, the blog site is down. Okay, that's interesting. See if anything had happened or anything. Okay. So next thing will be the Yu-Gi-Oh talk, and then after that we'll talk about the Vanguard drama stuff, whatever. And I think that'll be it. Because should be it. I can't get the actual blog itself because the site's down. And I know this. All right, so what's up, guys? Let me start recording. All right, so what's up, guys? We're live on YouTube for today specifically. Normally I wouldn't be on, but yeah, y'all seen the spiel before. If y'all watch the stream, y'all know. So, anyway. First off, hello Zaragoza, how are you? I know I just started the recording. I probably should stop it. Oh, gosh dang it. First off. Alright. So, let's actually restart again. So, as we're live on YouTube or Twitch or whatever you see this, I kind of wanted to give my thoughts because at any moment, heck, it could happen in the middle of the night for all we know. Konami is going to drop the upcoming August 2024 TCG Forbidden Limit list, the aka the ban list. And to say that Yu-Gi-Oh needs one right now is kind of an understatement because oh my god. Just kind of go onto the line right here. As you can see on the very hard thing to say. If you don't know what a YCS is, the YCS is the Yu-Gi-Oh Championship Series, which is like the bigger events for Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. Why, I don't know. That's a whole different thing. It's more of me kind of confused about how the hierarchical structure of Yu-Gi-Oh events work. That's just me. But so it's a big event. It's pretty much like it's a premier event. They have streams. They've got side events. They've got a whole bunch of other stuff. This is more at this point. A YCS is bigger than like a national championship, arguably. Not really, but it's like, you know, regionals are nowhere even close. Like they're the big event, which is weird to me because they don't have anything to do with Worlds. But I don't know. I haven't really done the research on what the whole purpose of their existence is. But that's on me just not doing it. But the point is, during this past like 2 weekend and a half ago, YCS Sacramento happened, and Sacramento's in California. California's a big state. You know, I just told you that YCSs are big. The last one was, I think, about 2,000 people. 900 people showed up. 900 people showed up to the World Championship. I mean, to the YCS. In the middle of probably one of the longest aggressive tier 1 formats that the game's seen, in Snake Eyes featuring Fire King and Bell and Tenpai and all this. And it's, for a lot of people, it's pretty much like if this isn't a sign that the game has issues, that attendance is finally starting to go down, because attendance has always been usually up for Yu-Gi-Oh regionals. Let me find something. Switch it up, and it is it's not up. Okay, I need to find actual sites. Yeah, we can go to Reddit. So yeah, Houston Regionals this weekend was effectively dire. I know this place, but almost nobody's here. YCS had 900 people. For the record, what the heck? Okay, stop it. This is the current thing. This is the breakdown from YCS Sacramento, the top 32. And as you can see, 19 decks were Snake Eyes related. 2 of them were Tenpai, 7 were Yubel, which is cool. I like Yubel. 2 Runics, 1 more Force Elemental. So 19 Snake Eyes out of 32 decks. That's a lot, and it's pretty much been this way for about 8 to 10 months. Let me double check when Age of Overlord released. Can go on. Let me show me Age of Overlord. That dropped sometime in May. No, not May. But definitely like 5 months ago, like 5, 6, 7 months ago, this set dropped that had Snake Eyes and everything in it and changed the game effectively. So yeah, for about 7 months, the format has been Snake Eyes, featuring some amalgamation of our Tenpai, Fiendsmith, Yubel, or yada yada. And now that there is I think people have had enough, especially when we've gone to the fact that so many people aren't really showing up anymore. Now there's a lot of things you could say. It's like, well, schools have started back up again. This was actually an event that no one really realized was happening until later. A lot of things. But effectively, a lot of what happened is basically just like people are just tired of the game right now, which is justifiably. Like a tier 0 to tier 1 deck running rampant for 7 months. Like, everyone's probably definitely tired of it. Now with the recent set, there's literally a FDK that's legal and allowed to run. They've had the Gimmick Puppet lock staying around. There's a lot of things to say. But I think the long and short of it just kind of comes down to they just really want a ban list. And I don't blame them. They need a ban list yesterday. The fact that they haven't had one yet is it's something. So that's pretty aspect. Now, excuse me. The big problem now is more so that the community is practically in this. A lot of things are lined up in terms of like the card game space, with pricing being the way it is for Yu-Gi-Oh, which is effectively getting like high rarity vanillas, and a thing for YCS's getting effectively nothing for everything, and players actually saying I'm either quitting or I'm taking a extended break from the game until something changes. I would say it's the most dire Yu-Gi-Oh's been. I think Yu-Gi-Oh's had worse, but to say that like the difference between that and this is that the problem is now the community is basically having a moment where it's like, if they want to have all their problems currently relieved of, right? They want the ban list to actually hit like 40 cards, which I don't think is gonna happen. To me, the ban list is gonna hit like 20 at most, and by hit I mean more so they're gonna adjust cards. Cards are gonna come off the list, cards are going on the list. That's just what's gonna happen. And to me, it's like, I don't think a ban list is gonna save Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I think the biggest problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are just unnecessary thing. Surprisingly, SP Little Knight has has not actually. It was a lie. I was gonna be like, oh, you know what? I saw this. Okay, nope, never mind. It's a lie. But like, yeah, we got a $70 extra deck staple. Kind of look at Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel got reprinted, so it's lower. The new Whitewoods archetype is like $44 now, which is crazy. If we go to kind of like high to low and search up Fiendsmith, let's see, where's the, which, can I just say like how much like TCG players also like is an issue in this overall thing too, because my goodness, it's hard to kind of like look. Let me just look at this brother. Let me just look up for this dude. Yeah, Fiendsmith's Engraver, $99 for a card that's basically 3 of. Tactus, $7 is great. Everything else in the deck is relatively cheap, thankfully, but it's like this. Perulia is $54. This is a side deck card that is pretty much saying, people are saying like it's one of the best side deck cards. Let's look for Snake Eyes. For Snake Eye, the core Snake Eye isn't really that expensive. Alright, it's like, okay. But if we say go to the Bellstar, if I can find her, should be here, right? And before we go that, let me show you right now, that's a lie. The Bellstar is $20 to $40 now. It's getting reprints, so it's gone down. But Sinful Small is like 70 to 80. Most of these are just like, I'm confused. Good lord, this TG player hot mess. I don't know what's going on anymore. It went that down. Probably because the ban list is coming. They're like, well, might as well just dump them on now, get rid of it. Which, to be fair, but it's like these were like expensive for like a good chunk of time, right? In the 6-month period, go around here, 30, 40. Wanted 6-month period, $68. You know what it is. Like, it's a lot of money to invest in the game and then have to do. Like, let's not forget freaking I don't know what I'm saying, but basically, like, you know, what is it called? This money, it's been around for so long, and now people just kind of starting to show up anymore. I think it also doesn't help that currently, it just feels like Konami doesn't really want to interact with the player base, considering that the World Championship, keep in mind, we're just a weekend or two away from the Pokemon World Championship. You know, the Vanguard Worlds is going to be next year, right? The fact that the World Championship in Seattle, in the United States, is exclusive and only open to duelists, to people who qualify to compete. So that means like no one can go and actually like celebrate the tournament. Like, this is why it's so weird to me. Why, like, this is why I'm just like, I feel like the ban list is not. I think the long short is the ban list is not gonna fix Yu-Gi-Oh's problems. Really, I think a lot of what the problems Yu-Gi-Oh have, the problems that Yu-Gi-Oh has right now, is very much like requires the company itself to make changes, which I don't think they're going to make. I don't think they know how to make them. That's the biggest thing. It's like they don't know how to make these changes. I didn't get to pull this up, but let me pull up to this what was it called? It was in like, let me see what the crossover breakers. Okay. Let me pull this up here. So there was an announcement. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm trying to say this. Okay. So Yu-Gi-Oh! What Yu-Gi-Oh! Needs is effectively three things. One is a ban list, a restriction list. A restriction list that hits a lot of like very, very important cards. Two, a change in the way pricing works, because as we're in a new era of competitive pricing with more and more card games entering the market and actually, showing signs of staying and having prize support that is much more attractive for players to come into the game. Again, prize support isn't the main end all be all for a video game, but it does help a card game in this competitive scene. It does help at least people get in the door, and it also allows current players to feel like their investment in the game is more than just a bunch of vanillas that you could find anywhere else. And three, changing the structure of sets themselves. The first one can be fixed, like if that, but it's also like the problem is because we don't have that ban list, it could flop, it could fumble hardly. The second thing is the prize support. They announced the next YCS season prize support, and it's another vanilla. That's a pyro monster, as if to kind of rub it salt in the room, which is hilarious. So at the very least for YCSs, that's not going to change. But we're like at the end of the season for Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's like we're at the reprint section, whatever. Which now leads to the third part, which is set changes, which is why I brought Crossover Breakers. Crossover Breakers has changed something in their set, which is cool, right? This is the one with Malice, with Ryziel, and Muge. And they've changed something in the set, right? It has 60 cards, 10 Ultra, 10 Super, 40 Rares, and half also available as Super Rare upgrades. Plus 15 cards also available as Collector's Rare, plus additional cards also available as Quarter Century Secret Rares, and each pack contains 7 cards, 1 foil card per pack, and 6 rare cards per pack. Now, you're probably wondering, wait, so half of those rares get to turn Super Rares? That sounds cool. It does, until you realize that this is the most confusing part. 1 foil card and 6 rares. If half of these are going to be upgrades, do these take a slot to take the foil slot in the pack, or are they additional to the, are they still a rare slot? Because if they take a slot in the pack, if they take the foil slot, that makes it so that the Supers and Ultras are now harder to get, which means they now cost more, which means they now are more pricey, which means players can't get them. And for probably the most impactful, or at least more interesting, release for the deck build packs, which have been mediocre for a long time, the fact that this one could potentially end up being high price to high heaven if we don't know the full combination of this is not a good sign that the third part I said is going to change, which I think just kind of leads to that unfortunate thing of just I don't know if a ban list will help Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's not going to solve all its problems. I'm not even sure if they do drop a ban list, depending on what's on it, it's not going to solve everyone's problems. It's not going to solve any problems. It could literally just hit 2 cards and then dip. I think a lot of people just been have gone as listen, we need this hit, this hit, this hit, this hit, this hit, and if all these 30 cards ain't hit in some capacity, I might just consider leaving. I'm like, guys, you're not wrong in that feeling, but also it's not gonna happen. Sorry. But the long and short of it is that Yu-Gi-Oh has had a lot of issues, and now the birds have come home to roost. And I don't know if Konami is built to. I don't know if Konami cares enough to want to change it. I think that's the biggest problem. So I don't really know if that's gonna happen. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you care, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Okay. That is it outside of the Vanguard thing, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm kind of out of it. I think I'm good. I can breathe. Be good. So we're probably gonna call it here. I'm gonna probably do a video separately until the stream because I got something to do. But probably gonna do a video separately and then on the whole thing, and then we'll see it later. So thanks for y'all coming out.